time today, the Apocrypha may be foreign to you, but the Apocrypha was a part of the original 1611 King James Bible. The Gentiles, the Catholic Church and the Protestant Reformation got this out of there because this reveals the truth of who we are. This reveals the truth of what they've done and the plans that they would do to keep us on the bottom. It also reveals the truth of what the Most High is going to do for us in the last days, right? So they had to get this out of there. This is in Revelation that says, woe unto you who add to the word, woe unto you who take away. You understand? This Bible is an Israelite Bible given to us by the Israelites' God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Protestants and the Catholics of Europe, of Esau, had no right to tell us about our Bible. You understand? Who are you? Who gave you the authority? You understand? So now, as our people are waking up and we're returning and we're going to get our ancient records, the book of the Apocrypha, the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher, you understand? The book of Jubilees, which I can show you in the Bible, that are all referenced. Okay? Now, we're going to the Apocrypha in the book of Ecclesiasticus, which is another book that was written by King Solomon. You know, if you go in the Bible, you will see Ecclesiastes that Solomon wrote. But in the Apocrypha, he also has two other books called the Wisdom of Solomon and Ecclesiasticus. And what we're about to talk about here in Ecclesiasticus, you can write this down, in Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 1 through 17. For those who do not have an Apocrypha, you can Google this and you can get these verses. And we always tell you the verses and the chapters and the verses because we never want you to take our word for anything. You understand? People misunderstand us because we on here and we go through the Bible chapter by chapter, verse by verse, because we ain't giving you no opinions. We ain't preaching sermons, ladies and gentlemen. We give you the truth of the Most High. And we give it to you so that you can have it, so that you can study. That you will never be, your faith can't be based on Levander. You understand? Your faith has to be based on the Most High. You understand? Now, so we're giving you Ecclesiasticus because, as for those who are just coming on with us, today's lesson is entitled, Moving Forth in the Truth. Right? You have to understand that it's going to cause some separation from friends. You can't live the same lifestyle with the same people that you did when you moved forth in the truth because, ladies and gentlemen, everybody ain't about their life. You understand? Everybody ain't about their life. So in order for you to move forward in the truth, you're gonna have to do some spring cleaning. You're gonna have to do some alterations. You understand about your life. And so we want to encourage you with these verses today, and so that you can start examining your life and examining the people that are part of your life, so that you can adjust and move forward in the truth. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6, verse 1 through 17. Let's get started at verse 1, D.
Instead of a friend, become not an enemy, for thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name, shame, and reproach. Even so shall a sinner that has a double tongue.
Now, so the Most High is saying here, instead of becoming a friend, just don't become an enemy. You understand? Because this is the issue, right? People, I'm telling you right now, Christianity is foul. Christianity is of Satan. But the majority of the people who call them Christians are some of the best people in the world. You understand? Some of the nicest people that you ever meet. I'm talking about loving, just good people, man. I'm telling you, right? And so, because they are so loving and they desire to be a blessing and help people, many Christians get taken advantage of. They get their kindness taken for weakness because they want to be everybody's friend. And then what happens is, because you don't want to offend people in this world that came up with this ideal of this judging people. So many Christians are so careful about what they say and do, which you have to be mindful, right? You don't want to push people away. But at the same time, you should never, ever choose people's feelings over the Most High. You understand? So what he's saying here is, instead of becoming a friend, to everybody. Just don't become an enemy, right? Because what happens is when you become an enemy, you do what?
Thou shalt inherit an ill name, shame, and reproach.
So he's saying, like, you don't have to be their friend. You don't have to be at their house. You don't have to have them at your crib. You don't have to, be a part of their church. You don't have to hang with them at your work and go out with them. But just don't become an enemy. Don't always, come in and hitting people over the head with the Bible and all that stuff. Because that's how you get an ill name. That's how you get shamed. That's how you get reproached. Because once you become that, instead of you being light and salt, now people just want to attack you and see how they can destroy you. But then he said also about a sinner, what?
Even so shall a sinner that has a double tongue.
So that means that sinner that have a double tongue, that means over here with the Christians, they're saying, holy, 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 holy. But with the world, then the church said, turn up, turn up. And the club said, turn up, turn up, turn up. Right? It's amazing to me. I see people on my friend list go live from the club Friday night and go live from church on Sunday morning. You understand? I see them go post Bible verses and so-called testimonies of how they love God, but then tag themselves in when power is on and empire is on and these have and have-nots and all this other stuff. Double tongue, double-minded. When in Rome, do it is wrong. Herd mentality. Right? So he's saying you can't do that. Verse 2.
Extol not thyself in the counsel of thy own heart, that thy soul may not be torn in pieces as a bull string alone.
Now this is for my Israelites right here. Listen, I understand that you had to leave the church and you had to, separate yourself. But you don't need to become your own counselor. You don't need to become only listen to yourself. Because what you're going to end up is, he said, you're going to end up being like this bull that's out there amongst yourself, just going from here to place, tearing up everywhere you go. You can't be the person that's leading and guiding yourself. You can't listen to your own counsel. Because a lot of times, the voice that you're hearing that's telling you that you're right, it's really your flesh. Right? So your flesh tells you, get them back. You ain't got to take that. Speak your mind. Your flesh says, oh, you cheated on me, so I'm going to cheat on you. When you really don't even supposed to be having sex at all. You understand? So you have to understand. You can't get caught up in this, what you feel. My feelings. No. Because your feelings are going to get you in trouble. Your feelings are real, ladies and gentlemen, but they're not always accurate. Verse 3.
Thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree.
That's what happens. When the only person that has something to say about your life is you're going to end up becoming a dry tree. You're going to eat up all your leaves that's going to be there to produce your fruit. You're going to tear away all your resources, now all your access to help in a time of need. You understand? We're not supposed to be submitted to people and following people, but we need people. You understand? The Most High didn't create us to be loners, to be by ourselves. You understand? And that's one of the things our people who understand the truth, that they're not black, that they're not African American. This is what many of them are living right now. And this is why we're coming to you in your homes, to get you to understand that we need each other. That's why the Bible says in Hebrews the 10th chapter, forsake not the assembly of the brethren. Yes, we had to walk away from Christianity, but you need to find some way, some form, some fashion, some people that you can fellowship with. And I know for many of you right now, the only thing that you have as far as this is this. And this is why we're here. But I'm telling you right now, as the Most High, we continue to move forward. This is not going to be always. So you got to get to the understanding where, listen, it's time to build. We're not building churches. We're building a nation. You understand? Verse 4.
A wicked soul shall destroy him that has it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. Sweet language will multiply friends, and fair speaking tongue will increase kind greeting.
You see that? Read that for him again.
Sweet language will multiply friends.
It will multiply friends.
And fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings.
You understand? And listen, once again, I'm not saying this to boast of myself. I'm just telling you what it is. To give you an example of what I mean. At the point in this life right now, I can go anywhere and be accepted. I don't know anybody personally that don't like me. I just know one person. That's Satan. You understand? Now I know there's some people that don't like what I'm doing, but there ain't many people that can say they don't like me. Cause I don't got no enemies. I don't do nothing to bother me. I ain't trying to talk to your girls. I ain't trying to take your churches. I ain't doing nothing. I don't care about it. I root for people. You understand? But the Christians and people who believe in Christ are not the totality of the people that I deal with. You understand? I can go to the hood. I can go to any hood, be on the street, be on the block, and stand right there with the thugs, and they still respect me. They know because I ain't coming to beat them in the head with a bow. I'm still the same old L, same old dude I was when I was standing out there with them. You feel me? So you have to understand that the way you carry yourself and the way you deal with people and relate to people will make you in a position where you continue to be a witness. This is why every day we're hoping and praying that we're pulling people off the street, pulling people out the hood, pulling people from the ungodly and immoral lifestyle that they're living. Because you know why? Because we're making an effort every day not to burn the bridges. You understand? This is why all my people that are still in the world, still clubbing, still getting drunk, still fornicating, some of them still living a life of homosexuality, whatever the case may be, they still come to L when they need help. They still come to their board when they need prayer. They still come to their board when they need to talk because the bridge ain't burning. Because I know that if it wasn't for the blood of the Lamb and the faith in the favor and the grace and the mercy of the Most High, I'll still be there with them. You understand? So you got to understand that being in the truth does not mean that you need to become a tyrant. You don't need to become, an attacker, because the only thing you end up doing is becoming the Pharisees. And these are the people that Christ spoke against. You understand? Verse 6.
Be in peace with many. Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
Read that for him again.
Be in peace with many.
Be in peace with many.
Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
But you only have one counselor of 1,000, which means that, you got mad people that you rock with, mad people that you jug with. But everybody can't speak in your life. I got homeboys who got a bunch of baby mamas. But if I'm in a relationship, that guy is not going to be the guy I go to give me advice. You understand? You understand? I got mad homeboys who turn up and who use their fun, I would say quote unquote fun, to relieve their stress. When I got issues and I got problems, I can't go to them because I already know what they're going to tell. Let's go do this. You understand? When my ex walked away from me, and people was like, "Yo, she walked away from you. How you treated? How you do? How you living? You need to come over here. I got no. You understand? Can't do it. Not gonna be able to do it. You understand? This is not making me better than somebody else or this, whatever the case may be. This is meaning that I can be at peace with you. I can dap you and show love. But you can't speak in my life because you don't follow the Most High. And that's the same way you have to be with your family and your friends and the people around you. Be at peace with many, but only have a counsel of 1 in 1,000. Verse 7.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, that be not hasty to credit him.
Now, this is the issue. Read that for him again. And go, as he reads that, we're going to precept this. Go to 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, as he reads this.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Prove him first.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Listen, just because you got something in common, ladies and gentlemen, that don't mean that you're friend. Just because y'all like some of the same foods, same restaurants, same TV shows, same music, that doesn't mean they're your friend. That's because y'all got some of the same experiences and some of the same life struggles. You worked on the same job. You go to the same church. You live in the same hood. That doesn't mean that you can be friends with them. And we're going to show you here, 2 Corinthians 6 chapter, verse 14 to 18, who you should not be friends with. 2 Corinthians 6 chapter. Just give him verse 14 there.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Uh-huh.
For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness?
Uh-huh.
And what communion has light with darkness?
You understand? Now, most people have used these verses to talk about as far as, marriage and relationships. No, it's bigger than that. You can't start a business with a person who don't follow your God. I don't care how much money they got. You can't start a ministry with a person who wants to be pagan and you trying to follow the holy feast of the Most High. You understand? You can't get connected to social organizations and activists who stand for things and support things that's outside of the Most High. Do you know how many so-called Christians and church folks support political leaders who believe in things that are not of the Bible? You understand? So these things go out, it far outstretches just personal relationships. Read that for him again. He said what?
Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Uh-huh.
But what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness?
What fellowship, if you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, do you have with anybody who thinks it's a joke to follow the Bible? And he said what?
And what communion has light with darkness?
And you believe that you're supposed to be light in your community, and the people that you talking about being friends with, talking reckless on social media, living reckless in public, just walking around looking any kind of way, saying anything and doing anything. What fellowship can you have with light, with darkness? And you're supposed to be the light of the Most High. Verse 15.
And what concord has Christ with Belial?
What does Christ have to do with Satan? You understand? I don't care if you call it Resurrection Sunday. I don't care if you call it Holy Week, Lent. I don't care what it has to do with it. If it's of Satan, it shouldn't be of you. You understand? And then he said what?
Or what part has he that believeth with an infidel?
How can you have anything in common, any fun, any laughs with a person who don't believe in your God? How can you build with them? What is there to talk about? You understand? This is not me saying that you're better than people and doing this, but if you're moving forward in the truth, the people around you need to be living and acting in the way that you do, because what's going to happen is the law of attraction. You pulling them in one direction, they're going to pull you in another. You understand? And they're going to tell you ain't nothing wrong with that. You just being over dramatic. No, that's what the Bible says. And you can't expect somebody who doesn't believe and serve your God to have anything in common with you. Verse 16.
And what agreement has the temple of God with idols?
Uh-huh.
For ye are the temple of the living God, and God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore come out among them and be...
You said what?
Wherefore come out from among them. And
no, stay with them and chill.
Wherefore come out from among them.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Fellowship them whenever you get a chance.
Come out from among them.
Go to protests down there with them.
Come out from among them.
Stay in the church with them.
Come out from among them.
Go to the Easter vacation.
Come out from among them.
Go to the Hallelujah night.
Come out from among them.
Go Christmas shopping with them.
Come out from among them.
No, go caroling.
Come out from among them.
Uh-huh.
And be ye separate, saith the Lord.
That's right.
And touch not the unclean thing.
No, I can eat pork because we're in the grace.
And touch not the unclean thing.
Or I can watch these movies because grace.
Touch not the unclean thing.
Uh-huh.
And I will receive you.
And he's gonna do what?
And I will receive you.
So that means if you don't, he's not gonna be received, ladies and gentlemen. You said what?
And I will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty.
You understand? Now I knew the numbers was gonna drop when we went to that. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't want to hear that. Now let's go back to the Apocrypha. Now that you understand what a friend is, who could be your friend, reread that for me again, verse 7.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Now, so that means, just because they got the I'm a Christian t-shirt on, you understand? Just because they say they go to your church, or they, whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that you can be friends with them. It definitely also doesn't mean, ladies and gentlemen, that you should date them. Because that's how many of you end up fornicating and getting pregnant out of wedlock. Because you came to church and you seen that man over there praising God and dancing for the Lord. And he had all the good rhetoric. But when you get behind outside the church, that conversation begins different. Why don't you send me this picture? Why don't you come by? You understand? So you have to understand, and men, this goes for you as well. They'll look holy. They have their long dresses on. They'll do all of that. They'll talk real good game. I'm not talking to something I heard. I'm telling you what I know. But when the late night come in, it's totally different. So just because they call themselves a Christian and they do Christian rituals, that doesn't mean that you can be connected with them. You understand? Verse 8.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
They're gonna be there when just for their own good. You understand? You know, your ministry popping right now, so they're gonna, you know, everybody liking your videos on social media. Everybody there, everybody coming. Girl, when you sing, you bring the house down. Of course they want to be a part of your team now. You understand? The Most High's blessing. You're doing real well. Of course they want to be your friend. Of course they want to ride or die with you now. You understand? But he said what?
For a man is a friend for his own occasion.
But for his own occasion, because what?
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
They ain't going to be there when trouble comes. I'm going to tell you how you know when who your real friends is. Lose your job, lose your car, get evicted from your crib, and you'll find out who your real friends are. That's when you know. Especially lose your car. That's when you really find out. Lose your car and don't got no money. That's when you find out who your real friends is. Everybody want to ride when the car's clean. Everybody want to ride with the rims shining. Everybody want to come to your crib when the AC is blowing and you got the HD smart TV laid out for the game. But what are they gonna do when you don't got cable no more? Right? What are they gonna do when you don't got that car no more, or when you ain't popping the bottles no more? Will they be there then? I remember Wayne said on that track, he said, everybody say they want to be here, but they want to leave when you say you out of mustard. You understand? And that's all it takes. Verse 9.
And there is a friend who being turned to enemy and strife will discover their reproach.
You understand? See, there's some people, ladies and gentlemen, you understand, that they call you friends, but really what happens is, only thing they're doing is studying you. And what happens is when you let your guard down and you think a person is your friend, you start letting these people into your life and start letting them see behind the doors. And then the first chance they get, when you do something they don't like, oh, now I need to go to Facebook and I'm going to expose her. I'm going to let the world know he ain't all who he say he is. And as you're trying to move forward in the truth, you better be careful who you got around you. You better be careful. Verse 9. Oh, yeah, verse 10, excuse me.
Again, some friend is a companion at thy table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
So as long as the food is there, as long as you eating, right, they're going to be good. But when it comes time of affliction, when you're eating oodles and noodles, they ain't coming. They ain't coming, ladies and gentlemen. When everybody's coming to your house, when everybody's wanting to be there at the house parties and the get-togethers and the cookouts and all of that, listen, you remember all the great Christmas parties that you had, the great Thanksgiving meals? And start inviting them to the Passover and see how many people come. Okay? Tell them you're celebrating Purim and you ain't celebrating Christmas and see how many people come. Tell them that, you're not doing this and falling out drinking and all this stuff. Tell them you're just going to sip some wine and just chill and see how many people with that. You understand? Verse 11.
For in thy prosperity will he be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants.
Uh-huh.
If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Separate thyself from thy enemies, and take heed of thy friends.
Read that from again.
Separate thyself from thy enemies.
Separate yourself from your enemies.
And take heed of thy friends.
Mm-hmm.
A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such as one has found a treasure.
You read that last quote from again.
He that has found such a one has found a treasure.
Now, now you have to understand this. When you got that person that's in your life, that's really faithful, and there through the thick and thin, you got to always do right about that person. And this is what happens to a lot of our people, right? You know, when you're on the bottom, you know, you know, it's whatever, you know, you're trying to make it or whatever, right? And then new doors open up, right? New doors open up is new people, new levels, new opportunities. And some people, when they get to these new opportunities, they will forsake the people that were there with them because they don't fit the mold of what your new friends are talking about. You understand? And you find this going on a lot, especially in the Christian church, right? When you was a member of this rural church over here, and you know you fellowship with these people all these years and all that, and then you go join this mega church over here, and over here they dress this way, they talk this way, they act this way, right? But your homeboy, he's still just a regular old little affiliate. He love the Lord just like you love the Lord, but he don't know all that rhetoric. He just a regular dude working a 9 to 5, and now you think now you've outgrown a person. There ain't no such thing as outgrowing people. You understand? If they held you down, you need to see them as a treasure. You don't need to forsake them just because things are going better for you. Verse 15.
Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable.
It's invaluable. And especially in this world today, someone that is a good friend, that's invaluable because many people got them. Verse 16.
A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever fear the Lord shall direct his friendship aright, and as far as he is, so shall his neighbor be also.
You understand? And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, why many of you are having problems, always talking about, I told God to separate me from my enemies, and all my friends started leaving. I hate every time I see that. It's just dumb. You understand? No, you chose those people.
Oh.
You understand? Don't be trying to make it seem as if the Lord is separating my enemies and all my friends started leaving. Nah, bro, that's you, dog. You understand? You're wicked. You're a liar and a hypocrite. That's what you is. You understand?
They leaving you.
They leaving you, homeboy. Shawty, they leaving you, shawty. So the reason why people are having these problems where you tagging this guy, tagging this person and your friends, you know, in your selfies today, and 6 weeks later you're dissing the same person, is because all of you are ungodly and immoral. You understand? That's the problem. You feel me? Now, we're going to skip Philippians. Let's go to Romans 10. I don't want to get bailed out in Philippians. We've given that to them before. We've been on for a while now. And for those who are just coming on,